Hello everybody, it's the Game Judge here, and I have some unfortunate news to share with you guys. We just received some news. Microsoft Xbox is going through some massive shutdowns, or layoffs rather, of some of the studios that have produced some games that people really enjoy. And this is according to an IGN article. They're shutting down Arkane Awesome, which if you guys know, Arkane Awesome, they're responsible for developing Redfall. They also did the Dishonored series and also Prey. And this one was somewhat surprising to me. Like, I know Xbox and the gaming industry is going through all these layoffs, and I knew Redfall was kind of a mess when it first was released, and not a lot of people were really into Redfall. I really wanted that game to be good. I was really disappointed, but the way Phil Spencer made it sound like was Xbox's philosophy is not to be too involved in the games, and apparently he thought maybe Xbox or himself should have been more involved in the making of Redfall. Personally, I feel like getting the studio to make a game like a Redfall, this multiplayer game, when they're known for games like Dishonored and Prey, I feel like it would have been better to play into those strengths. However, maybe it was one of those things where they wanted to make money off of a kind of like live service game. I'm not really sure, but I don't feel like this was the best method, and I thought Phil Spencer was going to give them another chance, or Xbox was going to give them another chance rather. That doesn't appear to be the case. So you have to wonder, what does this mean for some of these games, the Dishonored series, games like that? Does Xbox, I guess, now own the rights to those games? Are they going to continue the series without these studios? It'd be interesting to see what kind of happens there. They also shut down Tango gameworks, who are responsible for games such as The Evil Within 1 and 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-fi Rush. Now, I was also surprised by this one because it seems like these games are pretty well received by the gaming community. I mean, Evil Within is well known within the horror survival community. Ghostwire Tokyo, no, that was a little more experimental, and then Hi-fi Rush seemed like it did pretty well. It was well received, but I guess just collectively, they're just deciding that that wasn't enough to keep this particular studio open. They also shut down Alpha Dog Games, which I looked into them. It seems like they just make a lot of cell phone games, and they also shut down Roundhouse Studios and folded them or kind of combined them with ZeniMax Online. So just point out a couple of things on this IGN article. So Roundhouse Studios were reabsorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developers and ZeniMax Online Studios, which Microsoft currently values at over $3 trillion. They didn't say how many staff will lose their jobs, but I'm assuming most of the people from the studio that's going into ZeniMax Online is going to be losing their jobs. I guess I'm not surprised by this because not too long ago, ZeniMax Online was talking about how successful or how much money Elder Scrolls Online has made for them. And I'm assuming with all the expensive skins and whatnot, they've probably made a decent amount of profit on the Elder Scrolls Online. Even though I wasn't a big fan of it when it came out, I wanted it to be good, but it was just kind of boring to me, but each to their own, I suppose. And according to this email to the staff sent by Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, Xbox is blaming the cuts on the reprioritizations of titles and resources. And he goes on to say, today I'm sharing changes we're making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. I think this is kind of bullshit. I think it's Microsoft and Xbox. I know they have plenty of money, and I know some of these games have done good in the past, and this is kind of how it is in the corporate world. I mean, I've worked in the corporate world. It's very cold. It's very much, they're just always looking at the numbers, and oftentimes this really clashes with the creative side, and it creates an inferior product for the customers sometimes. So I just have a hard time believing that this is just to prioritize high impact games and not just a way to up the value of Xbox or Microsoft stock. I think that's just corporate bullshit, just to cover up for what they're doing to these studios, especially considering they just bought some of these studios not too long ago. Frankly, I have to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in Xbox right now because they've spent all this money buying all these studios back in a lot of them were in 2019, and then now they're just like shutting them all down. They haven't really released many games that I thought have been great, so I'm pretty disappointed. Like, they need to start producing results. You can't just buy all these studios and then start dropping these turd games. But they released Starfield, which, let's be honest, Starfield wasn't that great. It was pretty lukewarm reception. We can at least, even if you like the game and someone that doesn't like the game, we can at least admit that it has a lot more of a mixed reception than something like Skyrim or Fallout 3, right? So I really think it's time for Xbox to put up or shut up. We need some good games. Now, I will say I'm pretty excited about Obsidian. I'm excited to check out Avowed. I'm excited to check out The Outer Worlds 2. Elder Scrolls 6, I love the Elder Scrolls series, but I'm not so sure I have a lot of faith in Bethesda. So it would be interesting to see what they mean when they say these high prioritized games. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good idea by Xbox? Do you think they're going to be able to allocate some of these resources into making some of these games better? Or do you think that was just a BS excuse to shut some of these studios down and save some money? Let me know what you guys think below. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you all on the next one.